Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. So today I'm going to discuss the chemical properties of alkalis. There are three chemical properties of alkali. The first is the reaction between alkali and acid. Okay, so look at figure 6.22. 20 centimeter cube of 1.0 mol decimeter cube sodium hydroxide solution is poured into a beaker. Then add benzoic acid powder until excess. What is purpose to add benzoic acid until excess? To make sure all sodium hydroxide react completely. Alright, so let's write the chemical equation first between sodium hydroxide and benzoic acid. Okay, the salt produced is sodium benzoate and water. Sodium benzoate and water. Okay, then filter out the excess of acid powder through filtration. Okay, then the filtrate is a sodium benzoate transferred into the evaporating dish. The filtrate heat until saturated. When the filtrate becomes saturated, allow the saturated solution produced to cool until salt crystal form. When the salt crystal form, filter the salt crystal and rinse with distilled water. And lastly, dry the salt crystal in between two pieces of filter paper. Okay. Second, the chemical properties of alkali is heating the mixture of the alkali and ammonium salt to produce ammonia gas. Okay, look at figure 6.23. 1.0 mol decimeter cube of sodium hydroxide solution is poured into a boiling tube, sodium hydroxide solution, and then add ammonium chloride powder into the sodium hydroxide solution. Ammonium chloride powder. Okay, then you heat the mixture of the sodium hydroxide solution and the ammonium chloride powder, and then put the moist red litmus paper on the top of the boiling tube. So the product form is sodium chloride, ammonia gas and water. So moist red litmus paper will be turned to blue because the presence of ammonia gas. And lastly is the addition of alkali to metal ion to produce insoluble metal hydroxide precipitate. Okay, in figure 6.24, copper to sulfate solution is poured into a test tube. Okay, in copper to sulfate solution, which one is a metal ion? Is copper to ion. Okay, then add sodium hydroxide solution. So the blue precipitate is formed. Blue precipitate is formed. Sodium hydroxide react with copper to ion to form copper to hydroxide plus Na2+. Okay, so 2NaOH, 2Na+. So here is a blue precipitate. Okay, as the conclusion, the first chemical properties of alkali is acid will react with alkali react with acid to produce salt and water. Second, when a mixture of alkali and ammonium salt is heated, ammonia gas is released, which turn red litmus paper to blue. And number 3, addition of an alkali to most metal ion will produce an insoluble metal hydroxide precipitate. Okay, and lastly is the summary of the chemical properties of acid and alkalis. Okay, so the first, for the chemical properties of acid react with base to form salt and water. So the example given is nitric acid react with copper to oxide to form copper to nitrate and water. So copper to nitrate is a salt. Second, acid react with a reactive metal to form salt and hydrogen gas. The example given here is sulfuric acid react with zinc to form zinc sulfate, which is salt and hydrogen gas. And third, acid react with metal carbonate to form salt and water and carbon dioxide gas. The example given is hydrochloric acid react with calcium carbonate to form calcium chloride, which is salt, water and carbon dioxide gas. And this one is the chemical properties of alkalis. Okay, the first is alkali react with acid to form salt and water. Potassium hydroxide solution react with sulfuric acid to form potassium sulfate, which is salt and water. Second, alkali react with ammonium salt to form salt, water and ammonia gas. So the example given here, potassium hydroxide react with ammonium chloride to form potassium chloride, which is salt, water and ammonia gas. Ammonia gas will turn moist red litmus paper turns to blue. And the lastly is alkali react with metal ion to form insoluble metal hydroxide and cation from alkali. So the example given here is sodium hydroxide solution react with magnesium ion to form magnesium hydroxide, which is insoluble metal hydroxide and sodium ion. Alright, so please answer test yourself 6.4, page 158, chemistry form 4, KSSM textbook. Thank you.